Hello, my adorable boys and girls. How are you? Hope you're fine and hope you study the first part of our lesson, what is a liquid? Did you study the first part of our lesson, what is a liquid? I hope so. So we said that we have three states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. Do you remember what do you mean by matter? Matter takes up space and has mass. We said we have three states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. We talked about the solid and we talked about the liquid in the first part of our lesson, and today we will complete the second part. Liquid is a state of matter. Liquid is a state of matter that takes the shape of its container. So the liquid takes the shape of its container. That means it has its own shape. If I have amount of water and I pour this water in the cup, I will fill the cup of the water. So the water will take the shape of this glass. And if I pour this water in the bottle, so the water will take the shape of the bottle. That means the liquid hasn't its own shape. It takes the shape of the container. The water takes the shape of the glass in the beginning, then it takes the shape of the bottle. So liquid is a state of matter that takes the shape of its container. So today we wanted to know how can you measure liquids? So how we can measure liquids? People can measure the volume of the liquids. Volume. Do you know what do you mean by volume? This is what we will talk about it in this part of our lesson. To measure the volume of a liquid, you can use, or the scientists use, measuring cup, dropper, graduated cylinder. So we can use measuring cup, dropper, and graduated cylinder. Do you remember these tools? Yes, we taught them in the science lab. Do you remember? This is the measuring cup, and you used it. And this is the dropper. And the last one is the graduated cylinder. These tools, we use them to measure the volume of a liquid. So what do you mean by volume? Volume is amount of space matter takes up. Volume 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 amount of space matter takes up. All of you mirror on. Volume amount of space matter takes up. Now mirror off. Volume amount of space matter takes up. Do you repeat? Good job. We are in mirror on. Volume amount of space matter takes up. Volume is 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 amount of space matter takes up. You save it? Yalla, sing it with me. Volume is amount of space matter takes up. Volume is amount of space matter takes up. Quickly, volume is amount of space matter takes up. So volume is amount of space matter takes up. Milliliter is a unit of volume. So milliliters are a unit of volume. See the measuring cup here? We have 250 milliliter. So this is the unit of volume. This is the unit of volume. What is the volume of the following liquids? See here, we have milk. Can you tell me the volume of the milk? See, we have 25, then missing number, then we have 75. So we are skip counting by 25. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175. So here we have 200. So we have 200 milliliters. Look here. Here we have the amount of volume or the amount of water. Here the volume of water in the graduated cylinder, 800 milliliter. And here the amount of water in the graduated cylinder, 600 milliliter. So people use tools to measure the volume of liquids. These tools, measuring cup, graduated cylinder, or the dropper. Here we are using measuring cup. Here we are using graduated cylinders. And the unit of volume is milliliter. Here, how can you measure liquids? So how we can measure liquids? We will use the highlighter. Okay. What is volume? You can measure the volume of a liquid with measuring cup. So our tools, measuring cup, rubber, or a graduated cylinder. So we have three tools to measure the volume of the liquids. So we have measuring cup, we have a dropper, and the last one, graduated cylinder. Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. If you pour one liquid from one container to another, the volume of the liquid stays the same. We wanted to know more about the volume. We didn't understand it. So I want you to open your box on page 382. And I want you to open the two pages, 382 and 383. This one and this one together, okay? See, if I ask you, how are the containers here are different? Look, this one, the measuring cup, and the graduated cylinder, and this one here. How are the containers different? How they are different? Can you tell me? All of them, if I wanted to say how they are alike, the measuring cup has scale, the graduated cylinder has a scale, the graduated cylinder here has scale. So all of them have scales. But how are they different? They have different shapes. Look, the shapes are different. So they are different shapes. Now what happens if water is poured? Look here, this water, if we pour it into another container. This water, if we pour this water here. Tell me what will happen? So, our question, what happens if water is poured into a container with a different shape? this one, sorry, and this one here, this one, the graduated cylinder. Here the water, I wanna to pour the water here. They are different shapes. The water will take the shape of the new container. Here, the shape of the water like this, like the shape of the measuring cup. But here, the water takes the shape of the graduated cylinder. So what happens if water is poured into a container with different shape? The water will take the shape of the new container. Okay. Look here, if I ask you, what is the volume of water here? The volume is 40 milliliter. So the volume is, see? Look here. So 40 milliliter. So how much water do we have in the measuring cup? 40 milliliter. طيب. What is the volume of water in the graduated cylinder? Look, they are focusing here. Here we are. Here. So 42. How? Yes, because the liquid has its own size. Look, the size here 40 and the size here 40. But they have different shapes. Here, the water takes the shape of the measuring cup, and here the water takes the shape of graduated cylinder. So what does it mean? Uh-oh. It means that the amount of water is the same in both of them. The amount, the volume, the amount of water is the same here and here. But let's see the third container. Look, we pour the water here. And the amount of water is 40 milliliter too. So we have three containers and the same three containers, different shapes and the same amount of waters because we pour this water here in the second one and this water here in the third one. So the amount of water is the same in the three containers. Amount of water means volume. So the volume of the water in the measuring cup is the same with the volume of the water in the graduated cylinder and the same volume of the water in the graduated cylinder, the third container. Is the water level the same? 40, 40, 40. So they are the same. What happens to a liquid shape if you pour it from one container to another? What will happen? The water will take the shape of the new container. Look here, the water takes the shape of the measuring cup, the water takes the shape of the graduated cylinder, and here it takes the shape of the third container. So we said, what happens to the water's shape? And now I'm asking what happens to the water's volume. The water's shape the same. The water's shape is different because we have different containers. But the water's volume, the water volumes, look, are the same. So the water's volume stays the same. Here 40, 40, 40. Now, you understood? Let's revise. How can you measure liquid? How we can measure liquid? We have to measure the volume. But what do you mean by volume? Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. We can use three tools to measure the volume of the water: measuring cup, dropper, and the graduated cylinder. So, if I pour one liquid or the water here from one container to another, the volume of the liquid stays the same, but the shape, the volume, we have to highlight this one, the volume of the water or the liquid stays the same, but we have different shapes. The water takes the shape of the new container. Look, it takes the shape of the measuring cup. Here it takes the shape of the graduated cylinder, and here it takes the shape of the graduated cylinder with the other shape. A milliliter is a unit of volume. Here 40 milliliter, and here 40 milliliter. So we studied the volume of the water. What do you mean by the volume of the water? The amount of water in the container. The amount of water here is 40 milliliter. Here, the amount of water in the graduated cylinder, 40 milliliter, and in the third container, 40 milliliter. The volume of the liquid stays the same. The volume stays the same, but the shape of the liquid, the shapes are changed. The shapes are changed. Here we have the shape of the measuring cup. Here, the shape of the graduated cylinder. Here, the shape of the graduated cylinder. So, the water takes the shape of the container. What is the unit of volume? Milliliter. But look at the picture. Here and here and here. Look at the picture. What is the volume? And they wrote the unit. The volume is 40 milliliter. So the volume is 40 milliliter. Okay? The amount of water in these containers is the same. The amount, the volume. The level of water is different because the containers have different shapes. The amount 40, 40, 40. The level here down. The graduated cylinder up and here down. Why? Because we have different shapes. I hope you understood the lesson. I wanted to show you here this video, but let's erase. We have measuring cup and the amount of water or the colored water 400 milliliter. Okay? So I wanted to find the volume of some of the liquid. We will pour the water the colored water in the graduated cylinder. We will see. Okay, again. Look. He pours the water. Now, how much water or how much colored water do we have? So, to find the answer with me, look. Here, the long line is 70. Look, here 60. Here 61. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. The long one is 65. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. The long one, the longest, 4 tenths. So 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. And look here, the volume of the water. So he asked me, how much water do we have? We have 76 milliliter. Okay, I hope the lesson easy peasy. We were studying the volume of the water. What do you mean by volume? Volume, volume is the amount of space matter takes up. Volume is the amount of space matter takes up. I want you to solve the exercises here and send message for me. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Please study well. I love you all.